What's poppin'?
What if we could get 11 more How Special Works cars in GTA Online? Well, I'm here at the LS Car Meet with my buddy How today, and we're going to be looking at the 11 cars that I think would make the most sense to expand How Special Works. We've got all sorts of cars and all sorts of different reasons for why they belong, and we're going to be driving around the Car Meet test track, talking about upgrades, all sorts of good stuff. As you're watching the video, if you can think of some other cars that I forgot, put them in the comments. Love to hear from you down there, but we're going to start this one at number 11 with the Karin Kuruma. And there's a really good reason why this is on the list. The liveries that were added recently were added at the exact same time. It was recently, I say, it was about a year ago, but they were added at the exact same time that the Banshee got new liveries. As we know, the Banshee is now a How Special Works car, so I believe, with my weird way of thinking, this might actually be fairly likely to get a How Special Works upgrade. We could get a new spoiler, the How's liveries, and it would be a nice budget option in the future. Moving on to number 10, we have the Annis Hellion as an off-roader. We don't have an off-road class vehicle in the HSW class yet, which is why I think it would be awesome. And a big reason you can see on your screen there, it has really wild engine options. It's got some decent liveries too, but those engine options make it look like it just belongs in How Special Works. Overall, right now, its performance is decent. It's not great, but it does oversteer, which is quite a bit of fun. But this is what it would be the most fun for. We don't really have a really fast off-roader in this game, and I think the Hellion would be perfect for that. I'd love to see an HSW off-road race too. Going back to cars and looking at muscle cars specifically, the Dominator GTX is a really fun car with a bunch of kind of crazy options for the exhaust. It's got decent customization, some big spoilers already, but we would of course see How spoilers added to it. And really, it sounds great. It's a muscle car that handles really well, almost as well as the Buffalo STX, but it has no power at all whatsoever. How can fix that? And then maybe we'll have another muscle car that would be able to compete with that Buffalo, have some balance in that class. I just think this is a perfect car for How. And when you think about this from Rockstar's standpoint, they need to make money. It's a business. It's nothing against them. So what better way to make money than to add How's cars that everybody's going to want to buy? And the Gauntlet Hellfire would be that exactly. Already has good liveries. You saw it has huge blowers that you can fit to it, so it would really kind of fit in as far as the customization goes. You could add the How's liveries, of course, have the different spoilers like all the other cars, but overall, performance-wise, this thing is already an absolute monster, and How's upgrades would make it very similar to the Arbiter GT, which is just a ton of fun. I could see so many people wanting to buy this car, and How has to make this one happen. You taking notes over there, man? What do you think of that last pick? That was a good one, right? Well, now we're moving on to some compacts with the Dinka Blista Kanjo, and I don't know why I said some, it's just one, but we have so many customization options on this car, and we've got the big turbo sticking through the hood option as well, so to me, that makes it look like it should be a How's car. It's so much fun, but it is kind of lacking from a performance standpoint. Adding some How's upgrades could make this thing really awesome and really crazy to drive, being front wheel drive. I think it would be a ton of fun. Bonus points to Rockstar if they add a laptop to the front seat when you add the HSW upgrade. I just think that'd be way too much fun. How about if we add a vehicle to How Special Works that used to be the fastest in the game as far as top speed goes, and once again make it the fastest in the game as far as top speed goes? I think the Shafter V12 would be an awesome choice to add to How Special Works. It'd be nostalgic to once again have the fastest top speed shafter that you can in the game. The car sounds incredible. It really is one of the better cars in GTA and one of the more underrated because it has been around for so long. This thing would be awesome as a How Special Works car. I can just see it with the spoiler, the How's livery, all of it. It needs to happen. What do you think, How? You ready for the top 5? Well, we're going to start off with a weaponized car because we have the weaponized Ignis, so why not do the Ocelot Ardent? The customization kind of sucks on this car, and I would love to see more added, but I doubt that would happen if they add it to How Special Works. But it is actually a really good car as far as performance goes, You can't race it right now because most weaponized vehicles can't be raced. Adding it to Haus would fix that. It's also based off of Lotus Esprit, which is an awesome sports car, handles really well. Adding that extra power I think would make it pretty competitive, maybe even with the Turismo Classic and the Sports Classics as far as Haus goes. It would be a really good way to revamp this car. On to the number 4 spot with a car that's been added to the game recently, the Comet S2. I have 3 of these because the customization is just unbelievable. And the performance is still pretty good, but it used to be even better. Now you look at these exhaust options with those big twin turbos on the bottom, it's got some wild wing options, but it fits that look for how Special Works cars that I've been talking about. And it doesn't make sense how slow it is after the nerf. This thing deserves to be close to the top of the sports class. Based on what it is, it's a 911. 911s are not slow, regardless of whether you like them or not. This would just make so much sense to get a Haus upgrade. Now, I'm not going to leave you hanging if you're a supercar fan. And if you're a fan of daily driven exotics, stuff like that, Huracans that are modified are a very real thing, and it's a pretty popular thing to do. I love the customization on this car. I think the spoiler options on this thing are probably the best in the game already, and it just looks so good. It's one of the best looking cars in GTA, so why not have an awesome Pegassi supercar that doesn't have a big goofy gun on the top? Something you can absolutely rip around the track. It already handles really well, it just needs some more power, and that's exactly what Haus is all about. So, How, I hope you're paying attention here. We really need the Tempesta added to Haus Special Works. The only problem I have with Haus Special Works right now is that the top of the class is so lopsided. The Hakuchou Drag is so much better than anything else. We could fix that by adding the Shinobi. It's a newer bike. A lot of people were upset with the customization options, so give it some Haus upgrades and make people buy it. It's expensive as it is, and then on top of that, you can charge an obscene amount for the Haus Special Works upgrade. Make this thing just as fast as the Hakuchou Drag to have some balance in these races for Haus. Make it a little more interesting. I think that'd be a ton of fun, and one way you could do that is by adding an extended swing arm like the Hakuchou Drag with the upgrade. Alright, How, I have a problem because there is no excuse that this was not a part of the original Haus Special Works group of cars. It's got decent customization for as old as it is. It's an original car in the game, one of the first ones to have the intercooler options. It's just a really neat car. It's already got basically some Haus spoilers, but it's not fast enough for what it is. And being based off of an R35 GTR, everybody would want this thing. People would pay a ridiculous amount of money for a Haus upgrade on this if it brought it closer to the top of the sports class. I think this is the most obvious choice for this video, and it just has to happen. There really are so many ways they can use Haus Special Works at Rockstar to keep cars interesting, to keep us coming back for more of their already released cars. They seem pretty basic. You just have a spoiler option, some liveries. They don't add anything else other than the performance upgrades, so I'm hoping we'll continue to see more and more, and I love these 11 cars for these choices. But let me know what your favorite cars that you want to see added to Haus are in the comments. I'd love to hear from you there. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more Stackable Gaming content in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you next time.